If you're always sleepy and dragging through the day, we need to chat about sleep and how to get you more of it. What's up, y'all? I'm Dr. Alicia. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about very practical tips on how to get a good night's sleep and how you can make these activities part of your regular routine so that you're sleeping better in no time. Let's get into it. We all know that getting adequate sleep is something that we should be doing for optimal health and to just feel really good day to day. Yet, it's one of those activities that's often the first to be cut from our priority list when things get busy. So, the average adult needs about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. But if we're honest, how many of us are actually getting that amount of sleep on a consistent basis? Tip number one is to expose yourself to natural sunlight or bright light during the day. And what this does is helps to keep our body's circadian rhythm or our internal clock regulated, which helps us to know when we should be feeling alert and energized and when we should be feeling sleepy when we're preparing for bed. So getting outside is something very simple that we can all do. Granted, the weather agrees, but going for a short daytime walk to break up your workday is an easy way to incorporate this into your daily routine. Research has shown that as few as 10 minutes of doing a walk for 10 minutes can really help to improve the sleep quality that you get. And as a bonus, getting outside for a short walk will help to increase your energy throughout the day as well. Tip number two is going to be a little challenging, let me warn you. It's to go to bed at the same time each day and also to wake up at the same time each day. This is probably a tip that you have heard before, but I think that it can be a helpful reminder for all of us that it is important and can be very helpful when you can be consistent with your sleep and wake times each day. So sleeping in super late on the weekends is really not going to work in your favor when trying to get better sleep overall. So of course the goal is not to be 100% perfect with this. That's not realistic, but just keeping in mind as often as you can to try to be consistent with this and see if it makes a difference in how you're able to sleep each night. Tip number three is a doozy. Tip number three is to watch your caffeine intake or avoid it altogether. Now, y'all, I have struggled with this for a very long time. Me and caffeine are not friends whatsoever. So caffeine affects each of us very differently. I had to learn that for myself. I am very sensitive to caffeine. When I say sensitive, I mean extremely sensitive. So just know that, average advice that you hear may not work for you, and you really need to pay attention to what your body is saying. I commonly hear the tip of avoiding caffeine after 12 o'clock or noon to avoid caffeine, disrupting your ability to fall asleep. Now, that sounds great and all, but in reality, that advice didn't serve me whatsoever. I could drink caffeine at 10 a.m., be done drinking my coffee by 10, and that night I am still struggling to sleep. If you've ever heard the term of being tired but wired, oh my gosh, that was my life. I would be mentally wanting to go to sleep, my body would be physically tired, but my mind was still wired from the caffeine, resulting in super poor sleep. And it actually turned into a vicious cycle of not being able to sleep well at night and then waking up feeling exhausted in the morning because I actually didn't sleep very deeply or sleep very well. And so that meant that I absolutely needed the coffee to get through the day because I woke up tired. So this becomes a very vicious cycle, or at least it did for me. And this is just something to consider, that if you regularly drink coffee or caffeinated tea, to just think about how this may be impacting your ability to sleep or your ability to sleep really well. And just know, if you decide to decrease your caffeine intake or cut it out altogether, like I did, just know that your energy will get worse before it gets better as your body adjust to no longer being dependent on the caffeine for energy. But trust me, it does get better. This year, I have cut out all caffeine since, I believe, February 9th of this year. And when I tell you that this has allowed me to unlock another level of sleep, I am not even exaggerating. Tip number 4 is to create a relaxing wind down routine that you can do to decompress from the day and really prepare both your mind and your body for bed. And this wind down routine can be a couple things that you do to decompress from the day and to really prepare both your mind and your body to be relaxed and ready to sleep. And so these are activities that you can do ideally about an hour before you want to be in bed and asleep. And this is to be customized for you, to include activities that you find relaxing and rejuvenating. So my routine includes taking a relaxing shower, doing some skincare, maybe doing some light reading. I always make a cup of relaxing tea, like a nighttime tea that has ingredients that also help to promote sleep. So your evening routine is totally customized to you, to what you find relaxing and rejuvenating, ideally outside of technology. Yes, these activities are relaxing, which helps you prepare for sleep. But what you're also doing is helping train your brain to associate these activities with going to sleep. So comment down below, what's one activity that you find relaxing that you can add to your evening routine? I look forward to chatting with you there. Tip number 5 may be a little less common in terms of sleep tips that you've heard of, and this is to do a brain dump. So if you are not familiar with this concept, it's just simply getting a piece of paper or a journal, whatever you like to use, and writing down whatever is on your mind. And this act of just getting everything that's on your mind and that's maybe either worrying you or keeping your mind really active before going to sleep, getting all of those thoughts down on paper can be so helpful in just letting your brain relax and no longer hold on to those thoughts now that they're down on paper. Tip number 6 is to get regular exercise. So when we get regular, moderate exercise, this helps us to improve the overall quality of our sleep. It can help decrease the amount of time that it takes us to fall asleep and increase the amount of time that we are able to sleep. So one caveat here is that you don't want to do very strenuous exercise too close to going to bed, because doing so can actually give you an energy burst that could be, counterproductive for going to sleep. So a good rule of thumb is to avoid very strenuous exercise about 3 hours before going to sleep. If you wanted to do something more chill and a more relaxing type of exercise closer to going to bed, then I would look into doing something like yoga or doing some nice stretching to both help relax your body physically, but that's not going to get you super worked up and energized right before bed. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching my first YouTube video. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. I'll be posting videos weekly about wellness and personal development, and I would love to see you then. Until the next video, stay true to you.